often do you find yourself sitting at your desk, surrounded by your color-coded to-do list and a stack of 5 planners and enough pens to open a stationery store? You know you should be working on something, but instead you're on BuzzFeed trying to figure out what kind of sandwich you are. We've all been there. I am a spicy meatball sub. I don't think anyone is surprised. Welcome back to Rebel with a Plan. I'm Dakota Rebel, and today we are diving into why your planner needs a dopamine menu, a tool to help you inject some fun into your day and motivate your brain to actually do stuff. Because let's face it, willpower is overrated, and our ADHD brains are not built for delayed gratification. We're built for shiny objects. So if you're thinking to yourself, okay, Dakota, I'm in. What's a dopamine menu? It's like a menu at a restaurant, except instead of fancy mocktails, it's filled with quick, easy, fun little activities that give your brain a little hit of joy. Think of it as a cheat sheet for happiness. These are not big rewards like go buy yourself a new book or get injured just enough to be put on bed rest for a week. I am not the only one who has that fantasy. We're talking just little tiny hits of serotonin that don't require you to take out a second mortgage or even leave the house. Things like dancing to your favorite song or eating a piece of candy or even just scrolling YouTube guilt-free for 10 minutes. Our brains are basically toddlers hyped up on sugar. They want what they want and they want it now. So when you're slogging through an endless to-do list, your brain is like, this is boring, can we not? And if you have ADHD like I do, take that feeling and triple it. And then make that voice louder. A dopamine menu is a compromise. It's a way to tell your brain, okay, if you just focus and get this task done, we're gonna pull out the menu and get you a sweet little treat, whether that's food or not. Think of it as bribing yourself, but make it self-care. Actually creating a dopamine menu is really easy and it's actually super fun. Here's how I do it. I grab my commonplace notebook, but you can take any notebook. It's just a brain dump right now, so if you like to make your planner spreads aesthetic, you're not going to want to do this part of the exercise in your actual planner. Just grab a scratch piece of paper. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write down every small bite-sized thing that gives you a hit of serotonin. Tiny little things that just make you happy. Don't overthink it, don't make it too big, and don't make it too complicated. I'm going to give you a couple examples of mine, and you can use those as kind of a jumping off point. Things like drinking a fancy coffee, otherwise known as the dopamine latte. Watching 5 minutes of jump scare pranks on the internet. I hate getting scared by people, but I love watching other people get scared. Super rude, I know, but I am who I am. Also, petting my dog. If you don't have a dog, pet a stuffed animal, pet a blanket, pet your houseplants, pet yourself in like a clean, family-friendly way. We're a family-friendly channel. Ish. Once you have your list, you're going to break it down into 1-minute activities, 5-minute activities, and 10-minute activities. For example, for 1-minute activities, you can have take a deep breath or eat a piece of candy. For 5-minute activities, you can have go into your car and scream at the top of your lungs or have a mini dance party. And then the 10-minute ones are going to be things like call a friend, take a walk around the block, something that's going to take a little longer, give your brain a bigger break. And these are especially useful if you've been working on a task for a long time or a task that has many different pieces. Once you have your list broken down by time frames, you're going to put it into your planner. And because a girl's got to eat, I did design a dopamine menu that I put into my Etsy shop. It just looks like this. And in my shop, I have instructions to print it down into any size you need for your planner, and you can just write your stuff down and glue it in. And as a bonus, I also included a much longer list of ideas for 1, 5, and 10-minute tasks. And it also has a list for people who maybe are dealing with chronic illnesses or mobility issues. And that comes free with the printable. The printable, I think, is about $2.50, but if you use my code REBELPLANS, you're going to get 20% off that or anything else in my planner printable shop. Everything is linked down below for you. So if you want something pretty, but you don't want to have to draw something out, that's an easy fix for you. Now we get into the fun part, actually using your dopamine menu. So say you've been staring at your email inbox for 30 minutes, just kind of willing it to delete themselves, and that's never going to happen. You have to deal with them, whether you delete them or you answer them. You're going to open your dopamine menu, and you're going to tell your brain, once we take care of these things, then we get to pick something from the menu. Once your little dopamine gremlin knows that they're going to get a treat at the end, they're going to quiet down, hopefully enough for you to finish the task that you're trying to get rolling on. The 1 and the 5 minute tasks are also really great for breaking up bigger things. Like if you're doing your taxes, because as I'm filming, it is that time of year. For every section you get done, pick a 1 minute task. When you finish all of it, you can do a 5 minute task or a 10 minute task as a bigger reward for completing the entire thing. But you're still getting little hits of dopamine in between while you're working on that bigger project. Now, for my fellow spoonies or anyone with chronic illness issues, this is going to be even more important because on the days that you are super running low on energy, this dopamine menu is going to be a lifesaver. And when you make your list, you're really going to want to focus on those lower energy tasks. Things like drinking a glass of water, wrapping yourself in your fuzziest of blankets, putting on a soothing playlist. Little things that don't require movement or action so much, but still get you that dopamine hit you need to soothe your brain. And listen, if the only thing you manage is a sip of water and watching a cat video, that's okay. Stop expecting so much out of yourself. Here are 2 pro tips to take your dopamine menu to the next level. You want to pair rewards with tasks. Combine things that you have to do with the things that you want to do so you're doing them at the same time. Like if you have to fold your laundry, you can put on a video by your favorite YouTuber. Hey. Or one of my favorite things, which I've harped on in several videos, make it a game, man. Turn your dopamine menu into a challenge. How many items can you check off today? Can you get more tomorrow? Because if life feels like a game, it's going to be way more fun. But I will say this, you do have to mix in a productive task. It's not just about getting points for getting dopamine, right? I don't know if I worded it the way I wanted to word it there. You can't just work your way through the menu like an appetizer sampler and not eat your vegetables, is what I'm saying. And as always, the real ones hang around for the bonus tip, because I never leave you with just the number of tips in the thumbnail, do I? You need to revisit and refresh your dopamine menu on a regular basis. Our moods change, our interests change, our tastes change. So you want to make sure that you're constantly removing things that aren't maybe working, replacing them with new things that you learn about so that it's a revolving thing and your brain doesn't get accustomed to the same old rewards and then it's boring again, even though it's a reward. So there it is, just a quick little deep dive into a dopamine menu. I think that this could be really helpful for people who maybe struggle with the idea of task versus reward, and they're not really sure how to go about implementing that, even though it sounds like something that they believe their dopamine gremlin could really sink its teeth into. It's not always explained well, even by me. So when we say reward yourself for doing tasks, that doesn't always mean spending money. I mean, oftentimes you'll see people who have like a reward station and it's all this stationery stuff they bought. And when they check these things off, then they get their new set of pens or their new pack of washi tape. And that's great. That's fine. But for the people who maybe don't have a lot of money to spend or don't have access to things like that, it can get confusing. Well, how can I reward myself without accumulating more stuff or spending more money? So I'm not sure where the idea came from that rewards have to be monetary or food-based, because there is a whole world of things that you can do for yourself to get that dopamine without spending money or consuming food. I really do just go off on tangents in like every video, don't I? But I guess since I do it at the end, only the reals hear it, and I think you're kind of here for it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you learned something. I hope that this was helpful for you. Don't forget to smash all the YouTube buttons for me down below and leave me a comment and let me know what kinds of 1, 5, 10-minute tasks you might put on your dopamine menu if you're willing to share. I love you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, I finished my video and now we get to snuggle. Yes, we get our dopamine hit. Oh, there's my boy. Can you say hi? Oh, thank you for my kisses. You say bye. Bye. You shake? Shake? Oh, that's a good boy. Okay. Say bye. Bye, Rebel fam. Bye.